Investiture of the Gods, Chapter 11.
King Zhou, the emperor, making just a chilling move.
Mm-hmm.
He's just summarily executed Jian Huanshu, the Eastern Duke, no real process, didn't even bother reading reports from his ministers.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not just a red flag, is it? It's a terrifying display of power right off the bat. What does that tell us about his governance style?
It's an instant signal, isn't it? Just visceral. What's immediately fascinating is the sheer audacity.
Right.
It instantly broadcasts his tyrannical nature, highlights the absolute, unchecked power he thinks he has.
Yeah.
He's disregarding established protocols, even the pleas of his own court. The source actually says his heart was greatly alarmed by King Zhu's ruthlessness. So this isn't just about killing a duke.
Yeah.
It's about tearing apart the very fabric of governance, showing the ruler is above all law.
You've hit on something critical there. This brutality, it's not happening in a vacuum. There are witnesses.
Powerful ones.
Exactly. 3 other major regional lords, Chang, the Western Duke, Yu, the Southern Duke, and Shang Hu, the Northern Duke. They're right there. They see this injustice. How does that immediately shape their view of King Zhou?
Their reaction is immediate. They see him as lawless.
Instantly.
Yeah. And that raises this critical question, doesn't it?
Yeah.
What do you do when the head of state is acting against the kingdom's welfare, threatening stability?
What do you do?
Well, for these dukes, the answer is act. They choose an incredibly courageous path, almost suicidal, really,
Which is...
presenting a formal memorial, directly challenging the emperor.
Okay, and this is where it gets really compelling. Instead of backing down, these ministers, Chang, Yu, Chang Hu included, they submit this June, a formal, detailed, scathing memorial. Pretty much a direct indictment of King Zhu's rule. A huge risk.
Oh, monumental. If we think about ancient imperial courts, this isn't just a complaint list.
No.
It's a direct public challenge to his authority, his moral standing, his very right to rule. They lay out this comprehensive list of his transgressions, painting a really grim picture of his reign.
It's moral rebellion.
Exactly. Designed to force him to confront his own actions or, well, face the consequences.
And the memorial itself, it's a bombshell, isn't it? The accusations are just damning. They pull no punches. What were some of the big ones?
They leave nothing out, really. They accuse him of neglecting practical governance, prioritizing extravagant projects like terraces, pavilions, ponds over, the people's needs.
Right.
They charge him with favoring sycophants and distancing virtuous people, a classic sign of decay, and, of course, indulging in wine and women instead of doing his job.
And it gets more personal, too, doesn't it? More corrupt. They specifically mention the wrongful execution of Empress Jiang.
The virtuous Empress Jiang.
And elevating the filthy Daji.
Right. Yeah, that points to this deep corruption, this moral decay right at the top. Daji's painted as this corrupting influence, driving his worst impulses.
Okay.
But it doesn't stop there. They also bring up the arbitrary killing of the Grand Astrologer.
A key official.
Crucial, yeah, for interpreting omens, advising the emperor, and the lightly chopping to pieces of great ministers like Zhang Huanshu, who we just talked about.
It's just devastating, a total indictment. They even mention him inventing cruel punishments like the Paoluo.
That horrific burning pillar, designed specifically to stifle loyal advice.
Unbelievable. And accusing him of listening to slander and killing his own son. It's quite the list. A complete abandonment of, traditional virtues.
So their demands are crystal clear.
Yeah.
Get rid of the sycophants, Feizong and Yuhan, execute Daji, restore order.
Simple as that.
And they end by saying they do not fear access to law, meaning they're ready to die to speak this truth.
Wow.
It's not just bravery, it's profound self-sacrifice for the state as they see it.
So King Zhou gets this incredibly blunt, incredibly brave criticism. How does he react? Does he pause? Reflect, maybe?
Not even close. The source says his reaction is volcanic.
Okay.
He tears up the memorial, pure rage, slams the table.
Right.
And immediately orders the execution of all 3 dukes.
All 3.
All 3. Chang, Yu, Chang Hu. Right there, the Meridian Gate.
The main gate. Publicly.
Highly public, highly symbolic, no hesitation, no thought of consequences, just raw, tyrannical fury.
Okay, just when you think it can't get any worse, there's a twist. King Zhu's trusted advisors, but notoriously treacherous ones, Feizong and Yuhan.
The very ones they want to dismiss.
Exactly. They step forward to plead for one of the condemned dukes.
And this is just a masterclass in, the dark arts of court politics.
How so?
Feizong and Yuhan, usually the source of the bad advice, they intervene. but not out of compassion for everyone.
Yeah.
It's strategic. They argue that Chang Hu, yes, he signed the memorial, but he previously showed loyal and upright service. Remember, he built the star-picking pavilion and the longevity immortal palace for the king.
Ah, so they're playing on the king's ego.
Precisely. They suggest Chang Hu was just following the crowd. Didn't really mean it. Punishing him equally would be unfair.
And King Zhou
buys it completely. Trusts these two implicitly. Pardons Chang Hu on the spot.
Wow. It's shocking how easily a tyrant can be swayed by corrupt influence, isn't it? And it immediately divides the condemned dukes.
Exactly. It shows these subtle power dynamics. Even an absolute ruler like Zhou is susceptible to counsel from his favorites, especially when it appeals to his ego or self-interest. This isn't about justice. It's about Feizong and Yuhan keeping their influence, maybe sowing division, showing the boss they can manage things.
All right, so Chang Hu is pardoned, but the other two, Ji Chang and Yi Changyu, still face execution. Then what happens?
Then a really formidable group steps up. Truly loyal, respected ministers. Prime Minister began, martial ancestor King Huang Feihu, 7 others. They collectively plead for Jiang Huanshu, Yi Changyu, and especially for Ji Chang.
Okay, so this is different. This isn't self-serving.
Not at all. This is genuine concern for the kingdom, for justice. Their argument is powerful. It hits on history, virtue, practical reality.
How do they defend them?
Well, for Jiang Huanshu, they emphasize his awe-inspiring presence in the East, his military record, and crucially, that there's no evidence of this alleged plot. They're pushing back on the lack of due process.
Something King Zhou completely ignored earlier.
Exactly. But the highest praise, the most passionate pleas, are for Ji Chang.
The Western Duke.
Yes. The source calls him loyal and unwavering, a blessing to the nation. His virtue matches heaven and earth. His wisdom harmonizes yin and yang. They actually call him the Western Sage.
That's a huge title.
Yeah.
Speaks to immense moral authority.
It really is. Yeah. It's an appeal to this ideal of enlightened leadership. They describe his rule in the West as just exemplary.
How so?
Officials are wise, the ruler is just, sons are filial, fathers are kind, the whole ideal society, where travelers yield the road, doors aren't locked, nothing's picked up from the road. Peace and order achieved without warfare.
Wow. So they're painting him as the perfect Confucian ruler, a stark contrast to Zhou.
Absolutely. They also praise Yi Changyu's service, and then, maybe most compellingly, they switch from virtue to, well, a warning.
Practical consequences.
Exactly. They warn King Zhou, execute these dukes, and you risk rebellion from their territories, chaos, danger to the kingdom. Especially, they point out, with Grandmaster Wen Taishizu's best general away fighting in the north, the capital's defenses might be stretched.
Okay, so that raises a question. Zhu's a tyrant, clearly. Why does he listen? Even partially, this time.
That's key, isn't it? It's probably the sheer weight of these respected figures speaking together, their moral authority combined with the practical warnings. And critically, Ji Chang's reputation as the Western sage.
That carried real weight.
Immense weight. Even Zhou couldn't just brush that off without risking, well, everything. Legitimacy, widespread revolt. It shows even absolute power can bump up against moral consensus and real threats.
So, under all this pressure, King Zhou does bend a little.
A little. He makes a concession. He acknowledges Ji Chang's loyalty grudgingly, but still says he was wrong for following the crowd. So he agrees to pardon Ji Chang. But there's a catch, a warning. If Ji Chang causes trouble later, these ministers who pleaded for him, they'll be held responsible.
So it's a conditional pardon, shifting the blame potential.
Exactly. Shows a bit of mercy maybe, but keeps the threat hanging. However, for Jiang Huanshu and Yi Changyu, his ruthlessness is absolute.
No pardon for them.
None. Despite more desperate pleas from others, like Zhao Ge and Yang Ren, they try again, emphasizing innocence, the importance of straight talk to the ruler. That correcting your lord is a loyal minister's duty.
That Zhao won't budge.
No. He sees it all as a conspiracy now. It just hardens his resolve. Shows how paranoia grips a tyrant's mind, twisting loyalty into perceived treachery.
And then, the executions.
Yes. And the details are gruesome. He commands it done immediately. Yi Changyu is beheaded Hiege, standard, almost merciful by comparison.
Compared to what?
Compared to Jiang Huanshu, his fate is horrific. Giant nails hammered into his hands and feet. Then he's chopped to pieces with numerous knives.
What?
The text uses the term iya.
Which means?
It means his body wasn't just chopped up, it was literally minced. It's utterly barbaric.
Good grief.
It's a stark, horrifying reminder of Zhou's cruelty, his desire to make an example. A terrifying one. There's a poem right after this section that just captures the tragedy perfectly. Loyal advice is useless. The dragon's reverse scale is hard to offend.
The dragon's reverse scale.
Yeah, it's that single scale on a dragon's throat. Touch it, and you trigger its lethal wrath. It's a powerful metaphor for challenging a tyrant on his sore spots, his ego, his authority.
So true.
The poem continues. Huan Chu suffers a brutal death by being minced. Chong Yu's life ends by beheading. The rulers and subjects of two nations gaze in vain. It's not just description. It foreshadows all the sorrow and instability to come.
So Jiang Wanchu and Yi Changyu are brutally murdered. Ji Chang is spared, but heartbroken.
Utterly. He mourns them, lamenting that the southeastern regions will know no peace from now on.
A grim prediction.
And the other loyal ministers share his grief. They agree to temporarily bury the bodies. It's this moment of shared sorrow, realizing what's likely coming.
And just when you think, okay, maybe Zhou learned something, maybe Ji Chang is safe.
Nope. The narrative takes another cynical, insidious turn.
Let me guess. Fezong.
You got it. The cunning sycophant steps in again, whispering in the king's ear.
What now?
He advises King Zhou not to trust Ji Chang. Claims he's outwardly loyal, but inwardly deceitful.
Yeah, planting doubt again.
Exactly. Suggests that if Ji Chang goes home, he'll conspire with the dead duke's sons Jian Wenhan in the east, Yishan in the south, raise an army, disturb the Tianxia, all under heaven.
Wow.
He uses this vivid phrase, letting Ji Chang go would be like releasing a dragon into the sea, letting a tiger return to the mountain. Painting this picture of inevitable rebellion if Ji Chang is free.
So the threat isn't over for Ji Chang.
Not at all. This final twist just highlights the insidious nature of constant manipulation and paranoia in that court. Fei Zhang's suggestion monitor Ji Chang, maybe eliminate him later, ensures the threat remains. It shows how, in systems like this, loyalty gets punished, while flattery and fear-mongering become the way to influence. It just perpetuates this cycle of mistrust and oppression. The sycophant's work is never done.
Ji Chang, the Western Duke, he's finally released. But you said this wasn't just like a simple pardon, it was political.
Oh, absolutely. It's crucial to understand this was fragile, a political compromise, really, not just the king being nice.
Okay.
The source highlights Bigan, and he's this really respected minister playing a vital role. He goes directly to King Zhou, petitions for Ji Chang's release, sure, but also, and this is important, for the proper burial of two other marquis, guys who didn't make it out.
Ah, right. So showing respect even to the dead.
Exactly. It wasn't just a casual ask. It took serious moral courage, some political leverage, too, and a court that was, let's be honest, losing its way ethically. Bigan knew releasing Ji Chang and honoring the dead had symbolic weight.
That's fascinating. It shows there were still some honorable people around, maybe. But then it gets really juicy. After the public stuff, Bigan pulls Ji Chang aside. Privately. What did he tell him then? Away from everyone. Why was it so foreboding?
Yeah, this private chat is key. Bigan lays it out, and it's, chilling. He tells Ji Chang straight up, the nation already lacks discipline. He points to the unjustified killing of ministers as inauspicious omens.
Ominous.
Totally. And it's not just, vague bad feelings. It's systemic rot. The kingdom's unraveling because the ruler's ignoring rules, listening to yes men, basically eroding his own legitimacy. That kind of thing shifts power in really volatile ways. It's like a diagnosis the kingdom's in free fall, spiritually and politically.
Wow. Okay, so given that really grim picture, what was Bigan's advice, like the urgent takeaway for Ji Chang? And how did Ji Chang react to hearing this right after getting out?
Big didn't mince words. His advice was stark. Leave immediately. Like the very next day. Just go. He warned that hanging around could let these malicious sycophants stir up more trouble. The message was crystal clear. Get out now to avoid, potentially worse. And Ji Chang, he's wise himself. He got it. He called Bigan's words of gold and stone, recognized their value, this warning from someone truly loyal. And it makes you think, doesn't it? You, the listener. What does it mean when someone you trust says, run, flee this toxic place, even right after something seemingly good happened? It says a lot about the real situation.
It really does. Okay, so the next day, big shift. We're at the 10-mile-long pavilion outside the city. Big public send-off, right? It's supposed to look like everything's patched up. Lots of officials there. Huang Feihu, Jizi, Bigan too. What was the vibe there? What were they expecting from Ji Chang, especially someone like Weizi?
Right, so in this public spectacle, amidst all the politeness, Weizi's words really pop. He basically says, look, even if you've got grievances against the emperor, and who could blame him, He pleads with Chang. Don't lose the loyalty of a subject. Don't harbor dissenting thoughts.
Ooh, pointed.
Very. It's not just safe travels. It's a public, pointed reminder. You're still a subject, Duke, and we're watching. It's political caution wrapped in a farewell.
And Chang, how did he handle that public pressure and the emperor's so-called pardon? Did he seem bitter at all?
Oh, he played the part perfectly. Total statesman. Sincerely thanked the emperor, thanked the officials, everything. And crucially, he swore up and down unwavering loyalty, denied any other thoughts.
Putting on a brave face.
Absolutely. This public performance, essential for survival right then. But the contrast is amazing, isn't it? This careful public loyalty versus Bagan's private, desperate warning just hours before. Was he truly over it, or just incredibly skilled at navigating court politics? That unspoken tension?
Yeah.
It's thick. Classic political theater.
Totally. But just when maybe things seem settled, maybe a false sense of security, the mood just tanks. Two figures show up, Zhou and Yuhun. What happens when they arrive?
The source is really clear here. It says when the officials saw them, the 100 officials were quite displeased and each withdrew.
Wow, so not subtle.
Not at all. It's a massive red flag. These guys are bad news, known for whispering poison in King Zhu's ear. Their presence just instantly sours the whole event, brings this feeling of unease, like a bad omen walking in.
Yet, despite everyone else basically recoiling, Zhou and Yuhun put on their own banquet. They apologize for being late, pretend they're just there to say goodbye. How did Chang react to them?
And this is where Chang's own nature kind of betrays him. He's described as a benevolent and virtuous gentleman.
Oh, good guy.
Too good, maybe, for this crowd. His default is to believe they're being sincere, that their earnestness is real. Even though everyone else is practically waving warning signs, it's not just being naive, it's like the burden of being decent.
Yeah.
He's wired to look for good intentions, so he's kind of strategically blind to calculated malice, especially when he's feeling relieved and maybe a bit celebratory.
So he's vulnerable?
Totally vulnerable. A classic trap for leaders who value genuine connection over, ruthless political gamesmanship.
And that blindness, plus their fake hospitality, lets them spring the trap. Okay, so lots of drinks, then they bring out large cups, keep him drinking until he's half drunk. What's the goal here? Just getting him drunk?
It's way more than just getting him tipsy. It's classic manipulation. Machiavellian, really.
Okay.
The goal is absolutely to lower his guard, loosen his tongue, make him forget all that political caution he showed earlier.
Yeah.
A good person, even a wise one, is often most vulnerable when they feel safe, maybe among people they think are friends, especially with alcohol involved. It's a deliberate play to get him to say something, anything they can twist.
Makes you think, how easily can someone fundamentally good be manipulated by people who are just bad actors? Especially if they aren't expecting deceit.
It's a harsh lesson, right?
Yeah.
The danger of trusting blindly in a cutthroat world.
So the trap works. Zhou baits him, asks about his famous fortune-telling, his divining the innate numbers, asks if his predictions are always spot on, clearly pushing his buttons. What's Chang's big mistake here, now that he's half drunk?
And, half drunk, Chang totally walks into it. Fatal error. He forgets who he's talking to, forgets their real intentions, and just starts talking.
Oh, boy.
First, he gets all sorrowful, sighs about how the nation's destiny is dark. Then he drops the bomb, predicts the dynasty will end after this one succession. He even gives a time frame no more than 7 years. So 28 years. Nails it down to the woo-woo year of the Jiazi cycle.
Specific.
Very specific. That woo-woo year often signifies like major upheaval, karmic payback, basically the dynasty's expiration date. And he says the current emperor cannot meet a good end.
Wow. Even though this emperor just locked him up.
Isn't that something? He laments the fall of the dynasty that wronged him. It shows his loyalty isn't really to King Zhou, the flawed guy on the throne. It's to the bigger picture, the mandate of heaven, the idea of righteous rule, deep stuff, even when tipsy.
That really speaks volumes about his character. But he doesn't stop there, right? These two horrible officials push him, and he predicts their futures, too.
Oh, yeah. And he actually hesitates first, calls their fate very strange and bizarre. Maybe he sees the dark cosmic joke in it.
What does he say?
He reveals they'll die mysteriously and oddly, specifically drowned in snow water and frozen in ice.
Brr.
Frozen, like literally.
Seems like it. It's like narrative justice, Their death reflects their cold, calculating nature. And the text itself even gives us a spoiler. It confirms Chang's right, mentions how later Jiang Ziya will freeze Qishan and seize these two to sacrifice them. So the author's backing up the prophecy, adding this layer of dramatic irony. We know it's coming.
Chill. Okay, so King's doom, weird frozen death for the bad guys.
Yeah.
What about his own fate? What does he predict for himself?
From himself. Remarkable composure. He just states he will obtain a good end, dying in his own bed. Shenzhong Jingqian.
Shenzhong Jingqian.
Yeah.
What does that signify exactly?
It's huge, culturally. It's not just dying peacefully. It means a respected death after a full, virtuous life. It's like a stamp of approval from heaven, proof of a life well-lived, moral uprightness.
Wow. So the contrast is just stark, isn't it? The king's bad end, the official's bizarre frozen fate, and Ji Chang's peaceful passing. What does that tell you about their fundamental characters, their places in the grand scheme of this story?
It's incredibly revealing. Okay, so Ji Chang leaves, and Fei Zong and Yu Hun, they get on their horses, and they're furious. Why? What set them off?
Oh, they are livid. It's pure insecurity and malice. They felt totally insulted, especially by Ji Chang predicting his own good end compared to their frozen death. They didn't hear impartial prophecy. They heard him scolding them, a personal attack.
They took it personally.
Completely. Shows they just can't grasp virtue or objective truth. Everything's about personal gain or slight. That pettiness, that insecurity, it just fuels this instant nasty reaction.
And they don't waste a second. They ride straight back to King Zom and feed him a completely twisted story. What lies do they tell? How do they spin Ji Chang's words?
This is where their manipulation gets really wickedly clever. They accuse Ji Chang flat out, harboring resentment, speaking wildly, insulting the sovereign, basically treason, the great crime of irreverence.
Wow.
Then they selectively report the juicy bit they know will infuriate Zhou, the prediction about his downfall, the 28 years the cannot meet a good end.
Yeah.
But then, to discredit Ji Chang completely, they twist his other predictions. They use his forecast of his own good end and their frozen death as proof that he's just talking nonsense, wild talk, absurd.
How? That doesn't even make sense.
Their argument is pure manipulation. If he can't even predict his own death accurately, implying the good end is self-serving fantasy, how can anything he says be true? They use the actual truth of his self-prophecy about a peaceful death to paint him as a delusional liar about everything else, especially the king's fate. It's genius in a horrible way.
Right. Using the truth to sell the lie.
Yeah.
That's insidious. And King Zhou, already volatile. How does he react?
Predictably, he explodes, sees it as a direct threat to his rule and a massive personal insult. His reaction is immediate and brutal. Issues a decree right away for Chao Tian to chase Ji Chang down.
And the order is...
Chilling. Capture him, instantly behead him, and display his head throughout the capital to warn against monstrous talk. Just like that.
Unbelievable.
He shows just how fast truth gets warped into a weapon in that kind of political climate. One slip-up, fueled by wine, exploited by enemies, and boom, instant death sentence.
So Ji Chang's riding away and it hits him. He realizes his wine-induced indiscretion. He figures this must be connected to the 7 years of calamity he'd foreseen for himself. He gets it. And sure enough, Chao Tian catches up, like flying. But Ji Chang's reaction is incredible, right? What does he do?
He really is. It's pure wisdom and acceptance. Sees Chao Tian coming, and his first thought isn't panic. It's calm recognition. He just says, I already know. Yeah. No pleading, no fighting, just acceptance. He calmly tells his own men to go back to Shiki, tells them with total certainty he'll naturally return home safely after 7 years. 7 years.
He knows the duration.
Exactly. And gives practical instructions for his son, Boi Kao. Obey his mother, be harmonious with his brothers, don't change the rules in Shiki. Just amazing foresight and leadership, calmly planning for the future while facing, well, what looks like certain death.
That composure is just something else. And the chapter with a poem, right?
Yeah.
What does that final verse tell us about Ji Chang and this whole mess?
Yeah, the poem kind of sums it up perfectly. It mentions his straightforward words, Ji Wu-like, honest, maybe blunt truth-telling, and how that very directness, that virtue, makes him unable to avoid getting tangled up in these court politics. It's almost a liability in that environment.
His honesty tripped him up.
In a way, yeah. And it ends with this line connecting it all back to destiny. If not for heaven's decree imprisoning him in Youli, how could Duke Ji praise Fuxi? It suggests this whole thing, the imprisonment, the release, the drunken prophecy, the recapture. It wasn't just a mistake. It was all part of a bigger predetermined plan. Heaven's plan, maybe, to reveal his powers and push the whole epic story forward. Ji Chang, and he's only just been pardoned and released by the tyrant King Zhou. He's barely back home, probably breathing a huge sigh of relief.
You'd think so.
When bam, An urgent summons arrives.
Yeah.
Back to the capital right away.
Oh.
Given King Zhu's volatility, you immediately think, okay, this can't be good.
No, definitely not. And your suspicion, it's spot on. The sources are really clear. This isn't some friendly catch-up.
Hardly.
It's totally orchestrated by these two incredibly treacherous officials, Fei Zong and Yu Hun.
Ah, those two again. Yeah, they were notorious. Complete sycophants, always whispering poison in King Zhu's ear, playing on his paranoia, his arrogance. All for their own gain, of course. They saw Chang, his popularity, his wisdom. They saw him as a threat. They weren't about just let him go back home and live peacefully.
So what was the charge this time? What was the explosive accusation they cooked up?
Well, they claimed Chang had used something called Ojijan, Santin Shu.
Okay.
That basically means innate calculations or like pre-heaven divination. They said he used this to predict King Zhu's ill end.
His downfall.
Exactly, his downfall. And to twist the knife, they accused Chang of boasting about his own natural death,
Oof.
implying, that he thought he was above the king, immune to whatever the king might decree. It was a direct hit on Zhu's authority, and maybe more importantly, his whole divine right to rule.
Wow. So treason by prophecy. But what's really fascinating is how Chang defends himself. He doesn't actually deny doing the divination, which that's pretty bold.
That's precisely it. He doesn't deny it. Instead, he grounds it in something much older, much more sacred than King Zhou's temporary power.
Okay. How?
He explains that Onsaget isn't some personal magic trick he invented. It's an ancient, profound art. Cosmic mathematics, really.
Right.
Originating from legendary figures like Fuxi and Shenong. It's a way to understand the universe's patterns, the flow of destiny.
So he's basically saying, look, this isn't just my opinion, this is ancient wisdom.
Exactly. This is a truth derived from a tradition way bigger than either of us. And then he brings up the 5 cardinal relationships. Heaven, earth, king, parents, teacher.
The core ethical bonds.
The foundational stuff in ancient Chinese thought. So by invoking these, he's showing unwavering respect and loyalty, not necessarily to King Zhou the man, but to this higher moral and cosmic order.
But King Zhou, well, he doesn't seem like the type to appreciate ancient wisdom or subtle ethical arguments.
Not at all. His rage just boils over. Predictably, maybe. He calls Chang's words deceitful sophistry, slander. He's convinced Chang is bewitching the populace and is going to cause trouble later.
So his reaction is swift.
Oh, absolutely chillingly swift. He goes straight for the ultimate punishment, immediate execution, at the Meridian Gate.
Wow. No trial, no debate, just with his head.
It's brutal. Shows the absolute unchecked power he had.
A terrifying display of tyranny, really, where even predicting something, even if it's based on ancient methods, gets you killed.
But this moment, it's also a crucial test, right, for the people around the king.
Yeah, like, does anyone dare to speak up? To risk their own neck for Chang.
Exactly. And it tells you a lot about Chang, the respect he must have commanded, that someone actually does.
Okay, so who steps in?
Well, thankfully, yes, a challenge emerges. The text paints this really dramatic picture. 7 loyal ministers rush in.
7 of them.
Yes, including some big names. Huang Feihu, the military commander, Prince Huizi, who is known for being upright, and the prime minister himself, Biggin.
That's significant. What's their argument? How do they try to stop this?
They're pretty strategic about it.
Yeah.
First, they remind King Zhu, hey, remember when you pardoned Chang before? That made you look good, merciful.
Ah, playing the PR angle.
Kind of. Then they reiterate, look, Al-Babban, it's a legitimate ancient art. It's not some evil magic Chang made up.
Right, reinforcing his earlier point.
And crucially, they warn him.
Yeah.
Executing someone disrespected. That's going to cause huge instability. You might actually spark rebellions, undermine your own authority.
Practical consequences.
And they stress his character. They call him a straightforward gentleman, not some sneaky schemer.
Trying to counter the slander accusation.
Precisely. And Prime Minister Biggin, probably seeing the king is still furious and stubborn, he comes up with this brilliant gambit.
Okay.
Instead of just asking for a pardon, which might not work, he suggests a test.
A test.
Yeah. Let Chang perform his divination right here, right now. Predict something immediate. If he's right, well, that proves he's honest and a pardon makes sense. If he's wrong.
Then King Zhu has a reason to convict him for making false claims.
Exactly. It's masterful. It gives King Zhu a way to potentially back down without losing face completely. Lets him confront the truth, maybe.
And Chang, does he agree to this? Under duress?
He doesn't flinch, takes the golden coins, does his divination right there on the spot.
Wow. The pressure.
Incredible.
Yeah.
And then he announces, with real alarm in his voice, tomorrow at noon, the Grand Ancestral Temple will suffer a fire disaster.
Oh, that's specific.
Down to the hour and the location. And he adds, the ancestral tablets must be moved immediately, or the nation's foundation will be destroyed.
The stakes couldn't be higher. He's predicting disaster at the symbolic heart of the dynasty.
Absolutely. But King Zhou, he's still skeptical. His pride is probably fighting with this possibility.
And let me guess, Feizong and Yuhan chime in.
You got it. They jump right in. They advise the king, okay, tighten security around the temple, sure. But don't move the sacred ancestral tablets.
Why not?
They dismiss Chang's prediction. Call it mere chance, not real prophecy, just whispering more doubt, more poison.
Unbelievable, even with such a specific warning.
It shows King Zhu's fatal flaw, doesn't it? How easily he's swayed by these flatterers, even when the warning affects the very core of his kingdom, his legitimacy.
So what happens to Chang then?
He's imprisoned, thrown in jail to wait and see if his own terrible prediction comes true. His life literally hanging by a thread tied to that prophecy.
Man, you can just imagine the tension the next day. Huang Feihu, Begin, the other ministers, just watching the clock, waiting for noon.
Absolutely holding their breath. The yin-yang official was reporting the time.
Yeah.
The anxiety must have been palpable. Is he right? Is he wrong? Is he going to live or die?
And then noon arrives.
And it happens with terrifying precision. Exactly at noon, the source describes this huge, thunderous crack shaking the earth.
Oh, wow.
And almost instantly, news arrives. The Grand Ancestral Temple is on fire.
He was right, down to the minute.
Absolutely right. And Prime Minister Begin, when he hears this, he's apparently just overcome with dread. He realizes this isn't just a fire.
No.
Burning the ancestral temple, the spiritual heart of the Chang dynasty, where the spirits of the founders reside. It's a direct, undeniable omen.
The end of the dynasty.
That's what he fears. It's the foundation itself, their power, their legitimacy going up in smoke.
And the description of the fire, it sounds intense.
Well, it's described as something almost supernatural. Born from stone, it says. Powerful and majestic.
Not just ordinary flames.
No. Lightning flashing through black smoke, obscuring the sun. It's roaring like thunder. There are descriptions of golden snakes running through the smoke, red flames surging into the sky.
Goodness. It sounds like a cosmic event, not just arson or an accident.
Exactly. It mirrors the chaos brewing everywhere else, signaling this huge shift in the cosmic order. It's overwhelming.
So King Zhou must be terrified now, right? Chang was undeniably right.
Terrified, yes. And Feizong and Yuhan, they're shaking in their boots too.
So they finally tell the king, okay, maybe let Chang go.
If only it were that simple. Even now, even with proof staring them in the face, these two manipulators keep spinning.
You're kidding. What do they advise now?
They argue against a full pardon and release. Instead, they cleverly suggest confining him, locking him up in a place called Youli.
Confining him after he just saved them, potentially, by warning them. What's the logic?
Oh, it's insidious logic. They argue that by isolating Chang and Youli, he won't be able to influence other powerful lords or officials. It's supposedly to ensure the peace of the realm, keep him contained. It's pure political maneuvering. They twist his proven wisdom into a threat, neutralizing him without the king looking too tyrannical after the fire.
So the compromise is confinement.
Yep. King Zhou agrees. Chang's death sentence is officially pardoned, but he's shipped off to Youli. For more than a month, the king vaguely promises, with release coming, eventually.
Right. A classic kick the can down the road move. Keep the inconvenient truth teller out of sight, even though he was just proven right in spectacular fashion.
But what's truly remarkable, again, is Chang's reaction.
How does he take it?
Complete lack of bitterness. He's been wrongly accused, sentenced to death, proven innocent by a miracle, and still gets confined.
Yeah.
And he just accepts it. With dignity. Thanks the emperor, thanks the ministers, no resentment.
Wow.
It speaks volumes about his character, right? His the deep understanding of destiny, maybe. Like he sees even this unjust confinement as part of some larger, unavoidable cosmic pattern.
And his character doesn't go unnoticed by everyone else?
Not at all. The common people recognize it immediately. When he arrives in Youli, the locals greet him with sheep and wine.
A hero's welcome, almost.
Totally. They hail him as a sage. They declare his presence brings light to all things. It's such a stark contrast to King Zhu's rule, built on fear and brutality. Chang has this genuine moral authority.
It really makes you wonder, what happens during that confinement? What does a sage do when unjustly imprisoned?
That's the crucial question. Because what happens in Youli isn't just waiting, it's transformative.
Okay.
During his leisure there, which actually stretches into 7 long years of hardship, Chang doesn't just sit around.
No.
He takes Fuxi's 8 trigrams, the foundational symbols of Chinese cosmology, the Bagua.
Right, the basis of the I Ching.
Exactly. And through intense study, deep contemplation, profound insight, he expands them. He develops them into the 64 hexagrams, complete with 360 lines of change.
He essentially creates the I Ching as we know it.
Oh, what is
Or
it?
lays the foundation for it.
He creates the core structure, the 64 hexagrams, and their changing lines. This wasn't just killing time. It was this incredible act of intellectual creation, a system for understanding change, guiding action, a cornerstone of Chinese thought born in prison.
That's just mind-blowing. The very chains meant to silence him, to contain him, they become the crucible for forging one of history's most enduring philosophical works.
It's a total paradox, isn't it? This forced isolation, a direct result of political spite and tyranny, becomes the very birthplace of this incredibly influential system.
Yeah.
There's even a poem mentioned in the text that praises his 7 years of hardship and his profound understanding of innate mysteries. It cements his name forever as a great sage.
So adversity, for someone like Chang, becomes this catalyst for wisdom.
Absolutely, a wellspring of creation.
Meanwhile, while Chang is locked away, contemplating cosmic patterns, what's happening outside in the kingdom? Is it becoming peaceful, like the king hoped?
Not quite. The exact opposite, really. The kingdom is rapidly spiraling into utter chaos. We see massive rebellions breaking out. Powerful regional lords like the Eastern Marquis Jiang Wenwan, the Southern Marquis Yi Shun, they raise huge armies. Hundreds of thousands of troops.
It's a widespread revolt.
Totally. The text says 400 feudal lords rise up against King Zhou. It just highlights the massive ripple effect of his tyranny. The very instability Fei Zhang and Yu Hun claim they were preventing by locking up Chang. It's happening anyway, maybe even because of the king's actions.
And Chang's not even there to potentially mediate or advise?
Right. But this chaos, it's also framed within this larger cosmic narrative in Investiture of the Gods.
Okay, how so?
We learned about this thing called the 1500-year killing calamity among the immortals.
Yeah.
It signals this predestined shift, both in heaven and on earth.
A cosmic reset button, almost.
Sort of. The Shang dynasty is fated to fall. It's written in the stars, essentially. And the Zhou dynasty, Chang's lineage, is destined to rise.
Ah, okay.
So the stage is being set for divine intervention. Figures like Jan Zia are about to come down from the sacred Kunlun mountain to perform the investiture of the gods, basically, assigning divine roles, sorting out the spiritual hierarchy for the new era.